Okay, welcome to this month's webinar. I am very, very excited for what we are going to talk about today. And specifically, we're going to be covering growing your product reviews on Amazon in 2021. And I know that this is a really hot topic because everyone always wants to know how to get reviews in all that's wrapped around it because everyone understands the importance of it and really what it can impact for your products for the best or for the worst. So this I'm really, really excited about. Hope everyone's having a really good summer so far. And I am looking forward to, like I said, talking about it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me know if you don't see my screen, and I will make sure. But okay, so here are some common myths. And I think I told you earlier. I love talking about this because there's so many times it's like I said, that game of telephone that one person says something and it goes around the circle and then the person says it out loud and it's usually everyone laughs because it's so different than what originally was said. This is the same thing that seems to happen with information about Amazon. So that's why I love talking about common myths. So one of the first things that a lot of people think is that your product can only be successful if you have thousands of reviews. Really, quality, is important. That actual rating is important. You do not have to have thousands of reviews to be established and to be successful on Amazon. Now, the more sales that come in for your product, you are going to, percentage wise, obviously, you're going to have a larger number of people because if you have a larger number of orders, you're getting more reviews. But there, just remember that that's a myth that you have to have thousands or tens of thousands of reviews. Okay, you can still be successful with smaller number of reviews. Quantity is all that is important. That's another myth. Kind of ties in a little bit with that first one. Really, quality is what we found to be preferred over quantity. Now, I will say, when you do have a larger number of reviews, when you do get that 3 or 2-star, 1-star review, it's not going to impact your overall rating number as much as it would if you have a fewer amount of reviews. So versus like if you have only 20 reviews, when you get a 3-star or less, it is going to have a bigger impact than if you were to say have 200 reviews. It's going to obviously affect it less. So that's where quantity, is important and it does factor in, but really the quality of those reviews are what matter. Like, what is that overall rating? Typically you're going to want to have products that are over 4 stars, so that's typically what's going to perform best. For closer to 4.5, obviously, in 5 is the best, but at least over 4 stars. Otherwise, you're really getting into hard territory there with your reviews. Another thing, another myth, is that only written reviews matter. So now people can actually, now they're very, very important, but there's actually a higher percentage of customers that are now leaving what's called the one-click rating, where they can just give a review with one click and not actually write anything out. So that is another factor that's important. Written reviews really do help, though, with people when they're kind of on the fence. But then when you're just looking at the bigger picture for your rating overall, people can leave one clicks. So that is another factor that really is helpful. And then another myth, I don't need to request reviews since Amazon does that for me. Like I just had talked about this before. It does matter. You do need to request a review in some form, is what we would recommend, because you want to make it as easy as possible for someone to prompt them to know exactly where to leave a product review. Remember, product review is different than seller feedback. Customers that buy your product, they can rate both or just one or the other. And sometimes you'll notice even product reviews on your seller feedback, which that's something to pay attention to, obviously, especially if it's a negative one. But if it's a positive one, that's a good thing too. But you really want to make it as easy as possible for when people are shopping on Amazon to then leave a review. make it very simple of instructions or a click or whatever it is that it just directs people exactly to leave a review. We actually prefer that over requesting seller feedback, just because that really does help your listing and your sales overall when you have reviews. So, to really help with your review rating. And another myth is reviews can be requested at any time. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm going to get better about requesting product reviews, so I'm going to go back from the last 6 months and I'm going to start requesting reviews from all these orders that I missed out on, requesting reviews. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Reviews can only be requested now within like 5 to 30 day time range after the delivery date. If it's too soon, you're going to notice that you're not eligible. And if you go beyond 30 days, it's too late. So Amazon has really tightened that up. So that's something to be aware of, that you just can't go back and just continue to request. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that manually, that you're not going to be able to request it if it's outside that time frame of the 5 to 30 days.